Okay, so today we're going to be learning about tricks in addition and subtraction. Start with the basics. In addition, the numbers you are adding together are called the addends. The resulting number is called your sum. In subtraction, the number you start with is called your minuend, and the number you subtract from that is called the subtrahend. Your resulting number is called the difference. These are rules we're going to use in the examples in order to make the problems easier. Example 1a. So 65 plus 37 is a difficult problem. So what we're going to do is make 100 as it says. But there's no way to do that off the bat. So what we have to do is take 37 and break it down into 35 plus 2. And this will give us 65 plus 35 plus 2, which goes to 100 plus 2, and 102 is your answer. B. 128 minus 98. We're going to use property 5 for this problem. This property says that A minus the difference of B minus C is equal to A minus B plus C. So we need to pick values of B and C that make this problem simpler. Now to start off, 128 minus 98 is kind of a tough problem, but we can simplify this if we take 128 and subtract 100. However, we don't have a 100 sitting around. So we need to pick values for B and C using 100 that will leave us with 98 as the difference. To do this, we use 100 for B and 2 for C. When we put these in the problem, we get 128 minus 100 plus 2. When we do this, we get 28 plus 2, and we're left with 30. Okay, on to C. This is going to be the same exact problem with varying numbers. So once again, we're going to want to subtract 100 from 643. But we need to do this by choosing our B and C values. Again, B will be 100 and C this time will be 3. So when we plug these in, we get 643 minus 100 plus 3, which is 543 plus 3, and 546 will be your answer. On to D. We have property 3, which is the same as property 5, except with a flipped sign. So the only difference here is we're going to be picking our B and C values, but they're going to have different signs in front of them. So to make this problem simpler, we can take 79 and add 200. But once again, we don't have 200 just laying around, so we're going to have to make it. And we can make 200 by doing, or we can make 198 by using 200 and subtracting 2. And so in this case, B will be 200 and C will be 2. And this leaves us with 79 plus 200 minus 2. When we simplify this, we get 279 minus 2, which is 277. On to E. This problem is very similar to A, except for it has 3 numbers. Now we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to make 100, and we can do this by adding 31 plus 69. Now this problem is a lot easier because all we have to do is add 158. This will give you 158. Now for F, it's a little bit more tricky than this. We're still going to make 100, but we first need to break down a number to help us. That number is going to be 44. We're going to break down 44 into 40 plus 2 plus 2. And these 2's are going to go to 58 and 78. As you can see here, we have 40 plus 58 plus 2 plus 78 plus 2. This will give us 40 plus 60 plus 80, and your resulting sum is 180. Now, I don't understand why we could also do it another way, in which case we just take 42 plus 2 and add 58, because that would also give us 100 plus 78 plus 2. But if you do it this way, it makes it only 3 numbers, and they're a lot easier to add. Okay, on to G. We're going to be using the same type of rule of adding 2 together to make an easier to add number, but in this case, we're going to make 3 pairs of 250. We can do this by adding 136 and 114, 128 and 122, and 126 and 124. We add up these 6 numbers, we'll be getting 250 plus 250 plus 250, and our resulting sum will be 750. Alright, example 2. This one is using property 4. This property states that A minus the sum of B plus C is equal to A minus B minus C. Now in this case, A, our starting number, is 200. We're subtracting 89 and 11. Now what we can do is we can use B and C, where B is 89 and C is 11, and add them together. Then this simplifies the problem to A minus 89 plus 11, and in this case it'll be 200 minus 89 plus 11, and we'll be getting 100 as that result. 200 minus 100 is 100. Now for B, we're going to be doing the same thing, different numbers. So we'll add 86 plus 14, we get 100. 300 minus 100 is equal to 200. Now C is going to be the exact same, except for we have more numbers. But we can still add some of them together. So if we add 39 and 61, we'll be getting 100. And if we add 51 and 49, we'll be getting 100. Now, we take 230, we subtract the 100 plus the other 100, and we're left with only 30. And we can do the exact same thing in D again. If we take 34 and we add it to 66, we get 100. And if we take 35 and add it to 65, we get 100. Then it's 453 minus 100 plus 100, and we're left with 253. Okay, E is probably the hardest problem in this lecture, so we're going to analyze it. Now, if we look at it first, we see that we have alternating equations: subtraction, addition, subtraction, addition, subtraction, addition. So we can only assume there are more subtraction and addition problems within these dots. So we look at the problem even closer, and we see that each subtraction problem has a difference of 2. And we write that down. Now, what we can also see is the minuend difference between each minuend is 4. So in order to find the missing minuends here, we're going to subtract 4 from 142. If we do this, we get 138. That is another minuend. We subtract 4 from that, we get 134, which is another minuend. But if we keep going, we get 130, which we already know, so we'll just stop there. Now, if we write out all the minuends, we get 6 in total. And if we know, since the minuend starts a subtraction problem, and we know that it ends, and its difference is going to be 2, all we have to do is add 2 6 times. And when we do that, we get 12. So, this problem, when carried out, has a sum of 12. Alright, that's going to be it for this lecture. Thank you. I hope you learned something.